We have, this is what is called a dioecious variety or crop, and we can see here this is what would be a pure female. You can see the buds starting to form. This is where the seed is actually going to form, and that's what you're going to harvest. This is the male plant, so dioecious meaning two things, so it has a distinct male plant and a distinct female plant. And you can kind of see, generally speaking, Mother Nature takes care of the ratio, and it's usually anywhere from a 50-50 to a lot of times it'll favor a little bit more on the female side of things. So a lot of our fields end up being about 60%, 55 to 60% female to male ratio. When we look at a monoecious crop, this is what it would look like. You can see the female parts right here are starting to form. That's where the seed, and the male parts are also attached onto the same plant. So mono meaning one, so one plant carries both male and female parts of the plant. Monoecious has been touted as a little bit more favorable for the fiber industry because once those male plants release their pollen, they'll tend to die off. The female plants are still growing. They've accepted that pollen, and then they're working on the seed set and seed development. Whereas, so the males will die off, the females still have. So you have really quite a difference in maturity of the fiber itself, and so that makes it a little bit tough on quality. Where a monoecious, it's the same plant, so regardless, you know, everything is going to sort of mature at the same time. This is a short-statured variety, a short-statured dioecious variety, very popular in Western Canada. This would be more of a fiber variety, but also could be a dual-purpose variety that has good grain production. And then you have that fiber component. So again, dependent upon what markets you have available to you, whether you can utilize that fiber, that is all going to play into the part of variety selection. It's always important to get localized data, and with the Parkland Crop Diversification Foundation, the other diversification centers within Manitoba, there's many other research centers throughout Canada now testing varieties and how they do in specific climates and specific areas of the country. And so always try to get as much of that data as possible to help you in your decision making. Certain varieties will do better under higher stress, whether it's water, moisture, or compaction, and others aren't. Others are a bit more of a baby to get going, but might have easier harvestability. So there are certain characteristics for each of the varieties. So get yourself an agronomist who's knowledgeable on varieties to help you make that decision. Take a look at as much data as you possibly can to help that. Things that you want to be looking for is yield, yield and height, and I pointed out the different height. Herbicide tolerance, some varieties are a little bit more sensitive to in-crop herbicides, if that's important to you. And then of course maturity. As you can see, we haven't even started to really have the females come to fruition here yet in this variety, where the females are very well already established here and starting to set seeds. So there's going to be a definite maturity difference between these two varieties, which if you're growing an abundance of acres is always a good thing to spread out your harvest.